Howdy folks, and welcome to a reaction to the RWBY Volume 6 trailer. Now, I find myself in a very interesting situation because first of all, I've never been a person who avoids trailers. I don't mind trailers at all, even if they expose scenes that are meant to be shocking or something like that. It doesn't really bother me. But I know with RWBY, especially, at least with Volume 4 or 5, I can't remember, one of them had like something in the trailer that really gave away some of the events that should have been a shocking event in a series. I know that. And because I'm doing with Volume 6 blind reactions, Michelle's been blind all along, I kind of hesitate, but then I realized, you know, it's RWBY, I got to see it. And Michelle's not here, sorry. She comes by once a week, and this is the middle of the week, so she's not here. This is dropped on a Tuesday, and I'm recording it a couple of hours after it dropped. It took me a couple of hours to realize I really wanted to do it, and I do. So I haven't done a trailer reaction, I don't think, other than the original RWBY reactions, but those are kind of different RWBY trailer reactions. You know, the red, white, black, and yellow trailers. So the format for these trailer reactions is I'm going to watch it through once without going into deep analysis or anything, or really a lot of commentary. I'm just going to react. You guys are going to see me react to it. You know, I might go, wow, or ooh, or, you know, things like that, or facial reaction. A true reaction to the video. And then I'm going to pause the recording, and I'm going to go back and rewatch the trailer in deep analysis and take some notes. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about it. Maybe that'll work. I don't know. We'll see. Here we go. All right. RWBY. Volume 6. All right. Looks a little bit like Volume 5 graphics.
It's important not to
Maybe
lose
a little bit
sight of what drives us. Love. Justice.
Oh.
Reverence.
Huh?
But the moment you put your desires before my own, they will be lost to you.
Oh, yeah.
This isn't a threat. This is simply the truth.
New people. Is that Ruby and Weiss?
What's the
Red
plan,
and Weiss?
RWBY? Don't let anyone else die.
That's always a good plan. Okay, October 27th. Any last scenes? Nope, they go straight into this. Okay, guys. I'm going to go ahead and stop the reaction recording. I'm going to go back and rewatch this a bit, take some notes, and then I'm going to go through those notes with you guys and see what we have here, okay? Be right back. Okay, folks, I am back, and let's talk first about, let's go scene by scene. I took very copious notes. In general, the graphics, they look, in general, like Volume 5 graphics, although you can tell from the leaves on the trees that they're giving a lot more detail. See if I can actually go to the right window here. You know, the leaf movement and stuff, and the snow. You can see the snow starting to fall. And notice also that this is a green area, green grass leading into snow, so it looks like maybe they've moved up to the north of Anima, and they're not in Atlas yet, because Atlas, as far as we know, is all snow. If you look at the maps, it's all white, whereas the top of Anima is white. So it looks like they're heading north, but they're not quite there yet. To Atlas, that is. Moving on. It looks really nice. This scene is interesting for a number of reasons. Later on, I think I've pieced together the timing on this. They're all snow here, so they've moved beyond that snow line. They're up in north. I don't think they're in Atlas. I think they're still moving north, probably trying to get to a port or something that'll get them up north. Bumblebee is being used here. Yang's pushing Bumblebee along as some sort of a cart and pushing an old person who later I'm going to believe is an old woman. Could be an old man, but I'm thinking an old woman. Wearing goggles. In later scenes, it looks like very technical goggles, so maybe Atlassian technology or something of that nature. Atlesian, whatever they call it. So that's interesting. We see that Weiss has got a costume change here for the first time. She's got leggings, and she's got a red scarf. I imagine it's pretty cold in the skirt. Now, RWBY had already, in Volume 4, I think, changed to... she's got covering over her skin. So while she's wearing a skirt, she's not got exposed skin. Weiss did, so it makes sense that she would cover up a little bit. Yeah, so that's it for this. Now, when we turn here, though, we notice a few things. RWBY is carrying the lantern. I find it interesting that Crow or Oz isn't carrying the lantern. Did they entrust it with her? Are they taking turns? There might be a scene later on that gives us a clue about that. We'll talk about that here in a second. I like how they also don't let us hear the dialogue because you see what Weiss is talking. They don't let us hear the dialogue because, it might not be relevant. Maybe that's why they're not letting us hear. Maybe it's just like, oh, it's so cold, or you guys better get used to the cold, or something. Something completely irrelevant. But they're letting us hear Salem's voiceover, which is very reminiscent of early Volume 1 or late Volume 3, right? The end of Volume 3. So it really sets a mood, which I think is really cool. And again, Blake, I kind of sound like her dad here, but she must be very warm-blooded to not be cold at all, having an exposed belly button, exposed belly in this snow. So she didn't do anything to cover up, which I find interesting. Maybe she just didn't have any clothes or didn't want to buy any clothes. I don't know. So whatever the case, very interesting. Like I said, I do feel like her father now. So this scene leads me to believe, okay, because RWBY's excited, the other ladies are smiling too. So obviously there's some kind of good news, and I think the good news is that they're going to be hopping on a train and heading north, and everything's looking great. Because I think this is a train station. I say that because later on we see a train, first of all, but it just generally looks like a train station anyway. It looks like there might be the track area there. Maybe you guys can see where I'm pointing. The garbage bins, the stairs, the benches, the food service, it all seems to imply to me that it's like a train station or something of that nature. So I'm pretty sure that is. Weiss is still in her leggings and scarf, so I'm thinking this is before the walk in the snow. So based on the scenes that come up later, I'm guessing that they get on a train out of Haven. This might even be Haven. And then something happens on the train, because we'll see that in a second, that it looks like something definitely does happen on the train. So here we go. All right, Justice. Yeah. Dead White Fang members. It looks like they're wearing the uniforms. Based on Volume 5, when Adam took control, it looked like they had uniforms. Now, maybe the uniforms that were around SiennaCon were like Royal Guard sort of uniforms, but it looked more like they were maybe regional. So this is we've never really seen the White Fang. Well, we have seen White Fang members in Menagerie, but this is definitely kind of a veil uniform. Anyway, regardless, Adam was the leader, so he basically killed his own people. I think here is what we're getting the impression of. So not good. But I didn't think Adam would actually head back there. I thought he would go with Salem's people to Salem, but it looks like he decided instead to kill all the people he feels betrayed him? I don't know. Now, this Reverence one has got me going, man. Because, first of all, it looks like a man. It just appears to be man. Like man's coat, pants, shoes. It just looks male. It doesn't look female. So, I don't think it could be a maiden, because we're told maidens are all female. So, I'm wondering, is this some kind of a flashback to one of Oz's previous lives? And he's using his magic to float? Because I imagine he could. I don't think we've ever seen him do that, but I imagine we saw him kind of fly up in that ball of energy at the end of Volume 3. So I imagine flying is not something, or floating or whatever, hovering is something that his magic could definitely do. So I'm wondering if that's the case. If it's if we're getting a flashback. Because this is definitely a different area. I mean, this doesn't look, there's no pine trees here. This isn't... If it's Anima, it's further south. I don't know where it is, but it can be very interesting. I'm guessing flashback. That's my bet. All right. And Salem is looking cool. Really cool. Cooler than ever here. Now, this scene is interesting. Tyrion going between Emerald's gunblades, kind of looking as crazy and menacing as ever. I mean, going in there is crazy. And, of course, she's kind of shocked. I think this is part of what Salem is saying. I'm guessing, totally guessing, that Cinder maybe lashed out at Salem's group or something for not you know, immediately going to avenge Cinder or something, because this is probably a Cinder fallout thing. And she just kind of was out of her place. And it looks like Salem, combination of Salem and Tyrion here are kind of putting her back in her place, as it were, you know. Like, you know, you're just a hired blade or a hired gun. So, you know, you don't run this show. All right. I love it, though. Yeah, it's simply the truth, she says. Now, on the train, go back here just a second. See if I can get this going up again. So this is the train. So this answers a lot of questions, right? The train has Oscar on it. It's being attacked by Grimm. I bet they meet the old person, and it looks like they do. The one with the goggles, who's on Bumblebee in the snow, on this train. And I'm guessing the train is derailed, destroyed in the attack, and then they have to go on foot, continue on foot. Because you notice it's got trees down there with a little bit of snow, some grass. We see green here on the edges, and some snow is falling. So it looks like it's around that time period. That's pretty cool. Back in the train station, Ruby's doing her thing, and I don't know why. Then we get a lot of battling on top of the train, which is really cool. We get, as you saw, Crow has all scythed out and fighting Grimm. We've got Jean and Nora here. Nora looking real BA. I love Nora. Yeah, and Ruby is also, which we'll get to here in a second, scything it up on top of the train, which is really cool. That's a great shot, great action shot. And then this one. Okay, let's get back here again. This scene has got me the most interested. I don't know if you can tell. Well, you can tell because I stopped it at the right time. But she starts out kind of and then angry, this woman at the end. Now, I have no idea who this woman is. Let's come down here to my notes. Some things I noticed. She's, there's, first of all, whoever's sitting in the chair here is hooded, dressed a lot like Amber, I note, with the brown hood, kind of the gold armor bits. Looks a lot like Amber. Is this another flashback? Or is this another maiden? Or what is going on here? We're not sure, although the brown hood is also something that Sun wore on the boat, so it's not saying much. Is this? I'm thinking, is this some sort of a gang boss or something? This lady across the table, they have like a purple color scheme. Is it another bandit tribe? Although they're in a building, so it looks like they're in a town maybe. So it's probably like a gang boss, maybe in Haven or somewhere else. I don't know. Is like in my notes I say, is this an Amber flashback? Is it another maiden or just somebody we haven't met yet? Who's the woman in purple? Lots of money there. I think somebody's trying to buy something, but she gets very upset. The woman across the table, you can see her kind of bemusement turns to a definite frown at the very end. So I think that's going to be a very interesting scene to figure out. So okay, now this one, Ruby sees the lantern sitting in the snow. Obviously, it's near a building and sort of crumbled like cargo boxes or something there. Was there a fight here? Was the lantern dropped? Was it set down to, put it in a safe place? Did somebody steal it and then they managed to make them drop it? Again, not a lot to see here. The air is full on snow, so they're further along in their journey, that's for sure. I don't think they're in Atlas yet. I personally don't think they're going to, my guess is they're not going to get to Atlas until either the very end of this volume or the next volume. So we'll see. Okay, now this one. Come back over here. Yang is engaging. And it looks like at the end, Blake actually, she's got her fists and she's ready to go too. And she turns like she's ready to go. Something has angered them. But it looks like they're back in Haven. It looks like there's Yang's suitcase packed. They're packing suitcases ready to go. There's Weiss's suitcase, it looks like, in the back there, and another suitcase up top. It looks like they were packing and they were ready to leave. And then something happens that not only upsets Yang and Blake, and of course you've got Ruby and Weiss looking like, calm down, or why are you upset? They don't look like they're angry. They look like they're worried about Yang, and then Blake is ready to step in and support Yang in whatever's going on. So something has happened that has really upset Yang. I mean, the only thing I can think of that would upset her that much is Adam, maybe Mercury. Her mother might do it. I want to know. But this is apparently before they left. So this is going to be early on, I think. So that's cool. And this is going to be more Cinder fallout with Emerald and her either either before or after the confrontation with Tyrion. I don't know, but it's got to be Cinder fallout. Emerald just looks shaken. And Salem's looking very, very Salem-like. Oh, yeah. And we get Adam screaming and a broken throne. With the White Fang holding a sword. He probably just cut it up, right? In total anger. He's just upset at the world, I guess. How could you not see how brilliant I am and how... whatever. Oscar, now this one... This is starting a whole series. It's very interesting. Oscar falls to the snow, reaches up to the RWBY team as they stand ready to attack or defend. Ruby grasping the lantern protectively. Those are my notes. I'm reading them verbatim. I'm going to guess something happened here. Maybe Ozpin took control of Oscar and tried to... Sorry for the glitching on the video there. And tried to do something to use the lantern, to take the lantern. I'm thinking Ozpin did something that worried or upset. Yang looks very upset. And both Weiss and Blake look like they're ready to... Well, Blake looks a little shocked. And Weiss and Blake look very defensive. And RWBY, of course, is very defensive with regard to the lantern. And also kind of worried in her eyes a bit. And also Blake. So I'm thinking maybe Ozpin took over Oscar or something. We'll see what happens. And here we go on the train, and I really wish it wouldn't be glitching so badly, guys. On the train, it looks like the attack is probably starting because we get Nora and John coming out and people running, and then we've got this old woman with these goggles, Atlassian, probably tech, and then a staff that looks really cool with this skull, kind of a bluish skull on it, with purple. There's a little bit of purple there, I noticed. There's that purple color theme from that other people. I'm wondering if this isn't... I'm placing a bet that this is a maiden. And probably the Winter Maiden. And she's lived a long time. I know that the power goes to young women, but it doesn't mean that if that woman can survive a long time, she could be an old woman. Right? None that says she can't be an old woman if she survived a long time with her power. I'm betting Winter Maiden. That's my bet. I have nothing to base that on. Other than I'm thinking now, because of that purple, that flashback to that woman who looked like Amber was this woman in the past making a deal with the woman in purple, and that's where this purple is kind of leading me there. I don't know why, but that's my bet. Totally taking a guess on that one. Oh, yes. You can't see it real well, but I love this. And especially that. I'm a big Nora fan. Love how happy she is when she's fighting, especially when she's fighting with Ren. Not against Ren, but with Ren. I love it. They're going into action on top of the train against the Grimm. Ren and Nora together, hand in hand. Nora's just loving it. Oh, just love that. Can't wait for this fight. And then this, did you see that? I mentioned it a little bit on the first watch. Red and white. That's RWBY Super Speed. She did it with Nora in Volume 4, where it was red and pink. Red and white. It's got to be Ruby and Weiss, right? You think? That she's like zooming somewhere and taking Weiss with her? That'll be cool to see, too. And then this has got to be related to the previous scene, where Oscar's collapses on the ground, and the ladies or the RWBY team are looking at him with all sorts of different, either anger or defensiveness or shock or worry or whatever. I think it's related. He's screaming no. We can't see his eyes. I'm thinking maybe Oscar takes back control. I think Ozpin, this is my guess, total guess, Ozpin takes control and does whatever he does that scares the girls, or the ladies, pardon me. I don't want to call them girls anymore because they're all adult. Well, I guess Ruby's not technically, but anyway, the ladies. It scares them. I think Oscar's taken control back. I think he's the one screaming no as he's taking control back from Ozpin. And then Salem looking as menacing as ever, which is awesome and creepy. I love this. Blake asking, what's the plan, RWBY? Crow in the background. Not asking Crow what the plan is, asking RWBY. And this must be just before the fight, I guess, as they're just getting ready to fight the Grimm. And, of course, RWBY's response of, don't let anybody else die. I just love that. RWBY 186. Guys, I'm really looking forward to this. If you agree or disagree with any of my analysis, let me know. If you have anything else that you saw that you want to talk about, let me know. I can't wait. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.